All right, welcome into the Pillow Talk edition, the second of two streams I do each and every day here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. The first stream that occurs at noon, I almost said Eastern, Central Standard Time, noon CST. That is called High Noon. It comes on at noon. It is not a weed show. Was that a weed show? No. It's just the traditional use of the term high noon. It's where it's a shootout of topics. What we do on High Noon there is we cover everything that's trending. All the headlines, current events, pop culture, trending topics, hot topics, anything that people are discussing about, anything that people are discussing. That's what we do on High Noon. We give you a nice little cheat sheet for your day so you know at least a little bit about everything that people... here's my fear, right? I don't want you being accosted by somebody in line at Starbucks, around the dinner table, at the water cooler at work. I don't want anybody to go, hey, did you hear about it? And you go, oh, no, I didn't hear about it. I will tell you about that. That's what you get at High Noon. Then we come back at 9 p.m. or 9:03 Central Standard Time, and we do something we call Pillow Talk. This is a bit more conversational. This is a bit more like one topic, two topic. I don't do it alone like High Noon. High Noon is just me. This one is typically Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. But Parker is not here tonight, so I figured we'd invite Kelly, and we'll just call it the all-new Pugs Kelly Show.
Woo!
All right, there you go.
How do people listen to this? I'm not good with computer things. I click on the link that I see that you put out, but my brother was asking, how does he listen?
Thanks. How do people listen?
Send him the link, but I don't know.
You go to YouTube. It's a YouTube stream. This is the problem with
he doesn't
older
have
people.
YouTube.
What?
His daughter does, but he does not.
He doesn't have you. Your brother Kevin doesn't have YouTube?
Yeah. He also doesn't have Instagram or Twitter.
How do you not have YouTube?
I don't know. That's all I want.
It's like not having Google.
But he was looking. I was like, I told him, I'm like, go to Ed's thing. Go to Radio Misfits. And then he was going there. And then I'm like, just text Ed and ask him. I don't know. I don't know. Jeff, my husband, doesn't have Instagram either.
But you don't have to have Instagram.
No, but I don't understand how you don't. Like, how do you not have social media? Like, where do you learn things?
Does your brother have a 773 number?
Yes.
Okay, that's him. I don't know. It's just in here as Kevin. And then there's like 4 other just Kevins. I'm like, oh, okay.
Hello.
Kevin, it's your sister and Pugs. What do you mean you don't have YouTube?
I do have YouTube.
Well, of course you have.
You said you don't watch anything on YouTube and you don't get there.
No, I thought when you said he had a podcast, I was assuming like I go on the App Store.
No, this was a Kelly thing. Kelly, you called it a podcast. This is not a podcast. It's a live stream.
Oh my God. What's the difference?
You old people. What's the difference? A podcast.
It's just a live podcast.
No, it's not. A podcast is recorded and then you're able to upload it and listen to it. No, a podcast is different. A podcast isn't live. This is a live stream. This is
okay, because I watch Emily D. Baker and she does a live stream, but I watch it when it's been recorded.
What do you watch?
I'm a day behind Amber Heard.
You could watch it later, but you could watch it live on like a podcast.
Yeah, most podcasts.
Yeah, that's true. I could watch it live, but I don't.
There you go. See, so she live streams, and just like this one, there are people who will like listen to this tomorrow morning. A lot of people don't listen to the Pillow Talk show, but they tell me that they listen to it in the morning while they're getting ready for work or on their way to work or something like that. That is an option. Now, a podcast is something else that Ed wants you and I to do, which, that's been in the works now for a good 9 months. There's been no movement.
I didn't know that there was supposed to be. To be fair, been life events. that have occurred.
Yes. No, well, no, I was more putting it on Ed. Ed and his mysterious knee surgery or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't know that was happening, but I'm not surprised because I did know he had knee problems. I did know that.
All right, Kevin Kelly's brother, you got this figured out now?
Where does he go?
I always knew what the difference between a live stream and a podcast.
Well, how do you listen to this tomorrow?
I just didn't know where to find it.
How do you listen to this tomorrow? Is that your question? Is that the question from Kelly? No, Kevin, hold on. Oh. Is the question from Kelly, how do you listen to this tomorrow?
My question, for you to tell Kevin, how does he listen to this tomorrow?
You mean you're not listening to it? You're not watching it now on YouTube as it streams live?
No, I'm watching the news right now.
Oh, God. What are you watching, Kev? OAN? Well, I've been hearing things about you.
No. Tommy's OAN.
Kelly's got the casino contract.
Yeah. Do we like the casino, the Bally's Casino coming to Chicago?
I think it's better than Indiana, yeah.
I love it. Kelly, did you see the designs for the new Bally's Casino and Tower coming to Chicago?
Bally's Casino. Okay, that's what you're saying. I thought you were saying a ballet group.
No, Bally's Casino and Tower. It's going over. Remember where the Chicago Tribune printing complex was?
Oh, no. Did they get rid of that?
Well, yeah, because they don't print newspapers. Newspapers don't get printed as much anymore. You don't.
No, but I don't gamble. That's a vice I don't have, and neither does Jeff. Thank God.
Oh,
we don't gamble.
Bowen's bail in town.
It's not like a moral thing. It's just too stressful.
Hold on. Kevin's having just single conversations with himself over there. What were you just saying? We were trying to hear Kelly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I hear. Then I can go. I can get off.
No. I want to get you as a. Oh, you want to go? Okay, so the big news, Kelly, out of Chicago today was the announcement that Bally's is coming in and taking over the old Chicago Tribune printing. I don't know. It's like an entire town. It's so big. It's right there on the Chicago River. It is incredible. Like right now, it's industrial. It was a printing complex, but they're going to put this massive. Well, no, it wasn't. No, the Riverwalk itself, the new Riverwalk, right, Kevin, down by Michigan Avenue is really pretty. But now they're going to extend that all the way out past Wolf's Point, past out to where the Tribune, where is it, like Chicago and Chicago Avenue and I don't know, whatever. But on the river there. And they have they're building a giant tower, hotel and casino tower, and then this massive Chicago and Halstead, Ed says. And they're right there on the river. Oh, it looks incredible. Hey, look, here's how I feel about it, Kevin. If the Bears are going to move out, I don't give a crap. Put something new in there. Put something new to go downtown for. And I don't gamble either. But do you know what's going to happen to that area? It's going to be awesome. I mean, just everything around it, all the residual stuff. There's going to be bars and there's going to be restaurants and there's going to be other hotels. People,
work well for Trump.
What do you mean?
In Atlantic City?
No, that's because Atlantic City already had a whole bunch of competition for the casino. This is just one massive casino. We're just going to have one. It's going to be awesome. I don't know. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, that's not a me thing. I stress out at what is it when you put the coins in and pull the thing?
Slot machines?
Yes, I stress out at those.
All right.
She's a real gambler.
I once won 502 nickels.
I'm not a gambler at all, but I love Las Vegas. Yep. I love all the crazy stuff there. I love the shows and I love the people watching. And I'll play some slots. That's it, though. I mean, I don't know how to gamble. I don't have money. I wouldn't be smart.
That's how you can get some money, Pugs.
No, I'm smarter than that. I'm smart enough. I'm dumb, but I'm smart enough to know that if I don't know how to gamble, I shouldn't be gambling what little money I have on a hope and a prayer. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that.
That said, the comedian that said, if you're rooting for the Yankees, it's like going to Las Vegas and rooting for the house.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. I don't know who said it. All right. Thank you, Kevin. To answer your question, here's how you can listen to this tomorrow. You can just go to YouTube and you can type in my name. You can type Pugs.
Okay, now that I know you're on YouTube, Pugs, you can stop right there.
Okay.
I'll find it.
Okay, but I'll give you. See, here was the problem when the show first started. This was really embarrassing for me. When the show first started, and you went to YouTube and you just typed in Pugs or even Pugs Moran or Pugs Moran show, what you got were hundreds of people who own pug dogs.
I knew that was coming.
Hundreds. You had to sift through pages and pages of like the pug show where it's just like dogs. I'm not kidding you. I didn't know they had such a presence on YouTube.
They do. They have it on Instagram as well.
Oh, it's crazy. But luckily, after having done the daily show for like every day for the last 7-8 months, now I'm at the top. I have beaten all the pug dogs. So all you got to do is put my, or here's the easy way. Here's the easiest way. And Ed, in his genius, he set this up back when I was battling the nation of pug dog owners. Ed set up a shortcut, Kevin. You can simply go to pugscast.com. Pugscast.com, and that'll take you directly to my YouTube page. And then you'll see all of this stuff.
Awesome, man. I'm going to hit it tomorrow morning.
All right, there you go. See? All right, appreciate you. See you, Kevin.
Love you, Kev.
Take care. Bye, kid.
Glad to hear you're not the crazy one. I was worried. Okay.
We're getting there.
No, you're not nearly close enough.
It's the other one that I hear is crazy now. Okay. Thanks, Kev.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Views.
Enough of that. Can you give me a count to 10? I can't really hear you that well.
Me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Ed, what do you suggest? I got Ed in the chat room. Ed, what do you suggest you do? Because it's a little bit, little bit.
Do I have to do something with one of these knobs? Said my husband.
That's what he said. We talked about that today. On the Noon Show.
Yep.
Here's why we talked about it. How come there are no catchphrases anymore? There are no new catchphrases. Like, there were things that people always used to say, like Saturday Night Live used to produce catchphrases that for years people would repeat. And
that's what she said.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Well, that came from Wayne's World. Well, I went into a whole thing. Yeah, I believe so. I believe it started out with Wayne. That's what she said. Like, I think he invented that, but it became timeless because Steve Carell on The Office would say it, referencing the way Wayne would say it on Wayne's World. And the joke on The Office was that it was like a 20-year-old dated reference that wasn't funny. So now when people do that's what she said, they're more referencing Michael Scott from The Office and being tongue-in-cheek about it, rather than Wayne Campbell, who was actually funny because it was the first time we heard it and we didn't, knew. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me show you something.
I don't know.
It came about. I was saying like, okay, so I have this thing that I can't stop doing no matter what, even though I know it's the worst.
I don't want to hear it.
Well, when everybody says my wife, I always just like Pavlov's dog. I respond, my wife, just like, I can't help it. I can't. And I know it's a dated 20-year-old Borat line.
Can't help it.
I can't. I like doing it. And it's very tongue in cheek because I get that it's like such a lame thing to imitate Borat in 2022, It's like, okay, so I said one clue to knowing that if someone you're with is just not funny, like when you're out with a group of people and maybe there's like a new guy in the group and he fancies himself the funny guy, and he recites like Austin Powers lines, like, yeah, baby, like stuff like that. It's like 2022. It's like, ooh, come on, man. What are you doing? And Borat is like that too. Borat is painfully dated, but I can't help with my wife, whatever anybody says. And it's just like I said, it's a reflex. I can't stop it. But there are no good new catchphrases. I don't know where they're coming from.
I don't know either. But I'm not good at that stuff. I would have to ask Declan, my 25-year-old son.
Yeah.
I can't ask my daughter because as wonderful and gorgeous as she is, she's 22 and she's
lame.
No,
Not
she
cool.
doesn't like to offend people. Some might say liberal. Some might say that she's just sweet.
She's not up on like current event pop culture.
She's up on things, but she overthinks things that she says, I think. She's not always like, you're not going to get a snap answer from her from something. She has to think about it.
One of your biggest problems with your daughter is that she chooses her words carefully.
Yeah.
That sounds like a complaint.
I know, that's how she is, though. She's so awesome.
All right, here.
But yeah, no, you're not going to like, give me your first impression. She'll be like, well, I don't know. You could look at it this way. I'm like, no, I don't have time to look at it 2 ways.
Good Lord. I hate when people are thoughtful. I hate it. Just, it's the worst. All right, Kelly, this is the new Bally's Casino that they're presenting in Chicago. This is, but that's not even the tower.
Is this really a good thing?
Yes, it's a good thing. It's a great, look at this neighborhood. This is where it's going. This is what it's going to replace.
It look trashy around casinos. I mean, except
no,
for embrace the trashiness.
When was the last time you were? Look at that. That is going to replace that. Come on. This is called urban renewal.
Is it going to be done by the end of July? Because I'm going to be in Chicago at the end of July.
Yeah, no, I'm guessing no, that it will not be done by the end of July. Since they just made the announcement today. Look at that, Kelly.
That's crazy.
Come on.
I don't know. That's kind of sad to me. But I'm still not over the fact that they rearranged Soldier Field. What is it called? They added on?
So, yeah, they fixed it. They fixed it, and now they don't have a team there.
Right.
So it's sad to you that what you're looking at here is sad to you that this is replacing this. That's sad to you.
It is sad to me. But then again, like, I don't gamble, so I don't care.
Well, but it's not about, look at that. It's about all the other things. It's about all the jobs. We're talking about thousands of jobs it's going to create. It's going to bring
nobody working at the jobs. Nobody's working.
Well, sure there will be. There'll be a lot of people that become casino dealers and parking lot attendants and cooks and
paid how much money?
What's union? Chicago's a union town. That was one of the big things that they had to get through. These are all good union jobs that they were. It was one of the hurdles.
I'm here for a living wage.
Yeah, Ed says it's totally an entertainment complex. It's not just a casino. Okay. It's going to be it's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be restaurants. It's going to be high-end entertainment. Plenty for you to do, Kelly. I don't gamble either, but anytime there's a casino, there's shit for people to spend their money on that isn't just gambling. They give you all kinds of stuff.
I spend a lot of time at Disney. I used to. I don't anymore, but
well, there you go. Go to Disney.
Not happy with them.
You're not happy with that? Well, we don't need to get into that. I don't want to talk about
with DeSantis. No.
Well, so you're mad at Disney because he's doing stuff to them?
Because they've raised a ton of fees for everything and tickets and resorts, and they've changed a whole bunch of stuff around. But I'm really mad at DeSantis. But it doesn't matter because he's not going to give $2 billion to Disney to buy them out of that contract. Everything's going to be the freaking same.
I appreciate that. I appreciate your working
Disney,
class,
but he's not really.
I thought it was like more of the political stuff, and it's not. You're angry at Disney because they're raising their prices and making it hard for regular people to go there.
We put the hammer on the fact that they've got the Reedy district that runs all of Disney.
Yeah, the Reedy Creek Development District.
Yes. But in order for DeSantis to really get out of it, he has to pay off the debts of Disney, which amount to $2 billion.
I know. He didn't tell his voters that. He
did not. He also didn't say how much money that they were going to have to pay to run all of that stuff that Disney had been paying for.
All of those towns are looking at bankruptcy because they have never factored it into their budget that they would have to pay for water, electric, police, fire, ambulance. They never had because Disney paid for all of that stuff. And now they're like, wait a second.
Florida's not going to pay for it. They're not going to. This
No.
is all just a freaking showboat. And it's so annoying because we have enough stuff to worry about.
Well, here's the thing about DeSantis. This is what this whole thing is about. DeSantis is looking at being a national political figure. He doesn't care about Florida. He doesn't care about
As does Abbott.
Right. He wants to be, as does Abbott. He wants to be in contention for the next Republican nominee for the presidential race. That's what he wants. So he is appealing to people far outside Florida by taking on the trannies or whatever the hell it is that he's trying to do.
Owning the libs.
But he's screwing the people of Florida who don't realize, especially there's like 5 million people in that particular area, in that metro area. Those people are about to get 1,000% hike in their taxes, in their property taxes. It was like their taxes were low because of Disney, and now it's about to skyrocket. But he didn't care about.
By the way, flights into Orlando because of Disney. Their taxes for landing flights in there are lower because Disney is there. That's something that was negotiated. So, okay.
That entire portion of the state is a wasteland without Disney. Yeah. Do you think that the Universal parks, do you think that all the other things ever come there if Disney isn't anchoring that economic area? Disney is the reason that Orlando is a city. Or Orlando used to be.
I've never even been to Universal.
No, but a lot of people do, and there are a lot of.
I know, but I booked people to go there because I was eligible to book people to go there.
Yeah,
but I have never actually gone, and that's when I started to back away. And I'm like, I'm not gonna. I'm not familiar enough. Just like when Disney changed everything and stuff after COVID, I think Emil was the last person that I booked there. And I was like, I'm not comfortable with this. I hadn't been there since the changes happened. I don't want to have people spend $7,000 on their vacation and take their advice from me when I hadn't been there to experience it myself since the changes. I'm like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't want to waste your vacation.
My problem with Disney is the same problem I've had with Disney for 40 years. That's rich people garbage. I'm a Six Flags guy. I don't get to go to Disney. I was raised by a single mom in a working class environment. What?
There's different levels of stuff, but it's.
Oh yeah, I want to go to Disney and be the poor guy. Get me the poor ticket. Can me and my son I'm trying to impress get the poor people ticket?
No,
come on.
Resorts. The resorts are vastly different in prices, but since it's like Lightning Lane versus Fast Pass, and if you've been to Disney, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you don't know.
Yeah, no, I haven't been there, but I do anticipate that if I did go there, I wouldn't have any of the cool stuff, and the whole time would just be a reminder of how broke I am and how the rich people get to have all the fun at Disney while I'm waiting in line for 4 hours.
It didn't need to be that way.
Well, it is.
When they still had the dining packages and stuff, you would be on par. And they've got the lower end, they've got the mid tier, and then they've got the upper level. And you could stay to mid tier and be pretty happy with it, and then you don't have to pay for. But this is just I don't want to do a commercial for Disney because I'm pissed at him, but I also am pissed at DeSantis. So,
as long as I know that there are a couple of levels above me, I could never be happy. I could never be happy. I would resign. Six Flags ain't got that. Six Flags, you just park where you park. You walk in to spend the day. You spend What's that?
They don't have resorts. They don't have dining. The dining's awesome.
Yeah, there's one in every town I've ever lived in. I don't need a resort. We could go home. We'll go out. Maybe we'll save enough money. We'll go out for pizza afterwards. We don't need to go to a resort. Resorts.
McKenna is coming back from California, and she's like, we want to take the boys to Six Flags. Do you want to go? I'm like, hell no. Because you're going to go in summer, and I'm not going to sit in lines at Six Flags in summer.
Oh, no. What? Kelly doesn't want to be around the real people. What is that?
I don't want to be around in 105-degree heat.
Yeah, well, go back to Chicago. Go to Marriott Six Flags or whatever the hell they're calling it.
2 months.
Well, are you really?
Well, we have to go to my mom's celebration of life. That's the bummer part. So, but I mean, or not, I don't know. But I will be up in Chicago.
Jeff Glenn says, "Hi, poor kids. You get to go in this area in this special area where we have all the rides from the 1950s."
No, that's not how it works. Dang it. No.
And you'll get to meet Mickey's cousin, Ricky Rat. I don't know. I like Six Flags. I'm a working
You would
class
like
blue
Disney
collar.
Plus. You would like it.
I know I would. And if I was a billionaire, I'd go there all the time. But my entire life, my mom never took me to. That's for rich people. That's for people. Look, here. You want to know how jaded I am on this whole thing? Anybody, this is how, when I was young, when I was growing up, this is how I understood you were rich. If your vacation involved an air flight somewhere, you were rich. You were rich. I never went on a vacation we couldn't drive to. That was it.
To me, you were rich if you could get a Shamrock Shake without planning for it a month in advance.
Well, that's pretty sad. But
that's what we did.
Yeah. Really? No, we drove our vacation. I loved my vacations as a kid. I had amazing vacations as a kid, and they all involved Indiana, Michigan, or Wisconsin. All of them, every single one of them. And I like
We drove to Florida, but never with seatbelts on.
There you go. And the car was filled with cigarette smoke.
Probably. I know it was filled with Maxwell House.
What were they doing? Were they brewing coffee? They had a Mr. Coffee on the dash?
My mom and my dad would bring thermoses of Maxwell House.
Well, now you can stop anywhere.
Taster's choice.
You don't have to do that anymore. You can stop at any gas station and they'll have like 50 different kinds of coffee. That's what I love about being on the road and stopping at those big truck stops and seeing there. It's like Baskin Robbins of coffee. It is all brewed fresh. And I've always wondered, what kind of waste is this here? Because they've literally got 30 different fresh pots of coffee. How many people are they expecting? You walk into a regular, what do we got here? Racetrack, speedways, whatever they are, racetrack. I don't know, the convenience stores. Mm-hmm. You walk into a neighborhood, one of those at 7 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning, and they got 10 pots of coffee going. Like, what are they expecting?
Haven't you ever been to a Buc-ee's?
Oh, I love Buc-ee's. See? Hell yeah. I've never been to a Buc-ee's. I could live in a Buc-ee's. Have you ever seen, do you know what? There is a YouTube, oh God, it's so funny. There is a YouTube video of a black girl from like Ohio who made a video of her first Buc-ee's experience. And she's so funny. She's like, yo, and I got prime rib. And there's like a guy cutting prime rib, like barbecue. And then she's in the bathroom. She's like, yo, look at these bathrooms. It's like a Four Seasons.
Yes, they are.
Oh, Buc-ee's know what they're doing, man.
One of the best roast beef sandwiches I've ever had has been from Buc-ee's.
Yeah, their barbecue is fantastic. Yep. Buc-ee's barbecue. These are truck stops, people. These are gas stations. And they're the size.
They're more than that.
Yeah, they're more than that. They're the size of a Walmart. They're like, you walk in, you know what my favorite thing at Buc-ee's is? Have you spent, I don't know, a good 10, 15, me and my kid did this. He even said to me, he goes, it's too much to look at. I go, it really is. We spent a good 15 minutes trying to find, I don't know, the bag of beef jerky that spoke to us. They have a wall of hundreds.
You were going to say that.
It's great.
That's my son Declan. Oh my God. They're just like in heaven. They spend like $50 on freaking beef jerky all the time.
That's great. And the truckers love it because of the showers. Apparently they have shower facilities and everything for truckers. And they're all really nice.
I don't need to know that.
Yeah, well, truckers need that stuff. I mean, look, of course, we can go into the dark direction and wonder about what goes on in those places. But in Buc-ee's, they're really nice. They're really nice and they're tile floors.
Believe it.
Yeah. The Great Wall of Jerky is just something so amazing to look at.
Well, okay, in Italy, Texas, too, there are several jerky places that we enjoyed.
Yeah,
I don't mean me, because I don't eat beef jerky. But
hold on a second.
It's a bill collector?
No, it's my kid. Hey, kid, I'm streaming, so make it quick. What's going on?
Okay, I'll tell you later.
No, what do you got? You got a joke or something?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go. Let's go. Give me a joke.
So I was watching a video on YouTube, right?
Hold on. Is it dirty?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I have a rule. He can tell me a joke that contains things he's not allowed to say as long as it's funny. If it's
What
funny,
is he watching?
what's that?
What was he watching?
YouTube.
No, but what?
Oh, hey Mason, say hello to your Aunt Kelly.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Mason.
So I actually wasn't watching anything. I was just scrolling through the recommended and stuff.
Okay, what'd you find?
And one video was, how is it easy to stay thin in Japan? And I thought to myself, the last time there was a fat man in Japan, the whole city disappeared.
Oh my God, look at that. It's an Oppenheimer joke. It's a fat man and little boy joke about, oh my God, that is good. I didn't get that joke at all. But the fact that you're making Oppenheimer jokes at 12 years old, I love that. That was great.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, bud. Love you.
Good night.
What? No. What?
Why is he so old now?
Yeah, I know.
When would that
Right?
happen?
I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I hate that.
But
All
yeah,
right, hey, I got. Go ahead.
No, it's sad, but it's good because that's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah. Your kids are probably having sex. How's that feel?
Shut up. No.
True. It's true. They're not weirdos. They're normal, attractive
Jacqueline does
human.
have a date on Saturday.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And your daughter is out there in Weinstein land. I hope she's been briefed up by mom on how to handle that situation from someone who's fought the battles.
She has been, and she's super hyper aware, and she's just like freaking Mary Poppins going through the world. It's different.
She's innocent, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And afraid of everybody.
She's like every girl in any bad 1980s heavy metal video that gets off the bus, and she wants to be a star. She meets some dude in a band, and before you know it,
no,
you've got a son-in-law who plays guitar and Snot Spit, and they're really waiting for Snot Spit to get signed. That's your future.
Oh no, please don't say that. I think that they're 22 and 25. Anything that happens from here on out, they're at a reasonable age.
Yeah.
They're not 16 and 15.
You got to convince yourself that you have briefed them up properly and that they are going to have absolutely horrendous experiences that you cannot control. They will.
The first two, I think, have good heads on their shoulder. Still waiting on the second two.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you got another two.
1A, 1B, 2A, 2B.
You got two in reserve. That's good.
Yep.
That's good. I got one. I got the one. I'm like, I'm going all in on the one. That's it. That's all I got.
Sounds like it was a good choice, though. Seems like a good kid.
He is. He is a real good kid. So I wanted to talk a little bit about your daughter who's out there in Hollywood because it made me, unless you're not comfortable talking about it.
I hate talking about my daughter. Why'd you bring her up?
Well, she's a young actress. She's out there in Hollywood. She's taking her stab at it, which I think is like the coolest thing. I am so proud of her. I think that is just what a ballsy, and she's not, here's the thing. She's not a rich kid trying to do it, which means she's going to have like the real struggles. Because I always say, I hate when I read people's Wikipedia pages, like celebrities' Wikipedia pages, and you find out that like their dad is a world-renowned heart surgeon and their mother is the daughter of the guy who invented the flip-top soda can.
No money from me either.
Well, but you see these people, it seems like all of these people who make it in Hollywood, when you end up reading about their background, they all come from just ridiculous money, which means that they had an advantage over regular kids who go out there and try and make it because they don't have to wait tables or get someone to cover their shift to go on auditions. They have cool ass apartments because dad pays for them or they're on a trust fund.
Cool ass apartment.
No, I know. She's like doing it the real way. She's doing it the hard way, unfortunately. And I'll give you an example. Okay, so I grew up with a girl who went on to be kind of famous, Robin Tunney, the actress Robin
Oh
Tunney.
yeah.
Yeah, she was in The Craft, and then she was. I think she had a TV show for a long time on one of the networks, like one of those shows that I never watch. Like a procedural thing. Like maybe she was on a CSI or something or whatever. But
I'll look her up.
she had, yeah, go ahead, pull it up. She had a really nice career. Where it was like, oh my God, she made it. Look at her. She's like, she went out there, she did the same thing, but like her dad owned like 5 car dealerships in the
Right,
Chicago
she didn't
area.
have to do it.
Right. It was
Yeah.
like, yeah, of course she was able to go out there and do it. Her
Mhm.
dad probably gave her $10K a month and said, take your swings, little girl. And she made it. And that's not to, be, dismissive of her, because, she's a talented girl and she was a cool girl. She wasn't like an awful kid growing up. She was like one of the cool.
She was an Encino Man.
There you go. Yeah, probably early on. She was also in Empire Records. That was like the first time we saw her in Empire Records. She was the girl who shaved her head and was suicidal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Niagara, where she won a Volpe Cup Award for Best Actress.
Hey, do you know who her 2 best friends were?
No.
All right, listen to this. You'll get a kick out of this because you're from the Chicago area. This will give you an idea of like the pack of mean girls that she ran in. Not mean girls, but rich girls.
Same.
Okay, so like her best friend was a girl named Elizabeth Canfield.
What is she known as now?
No. Canfield.
What? Canfield, like the
like
soda
the soda. Yeah, she was the family her family owned the Canfield Soda Company. And the other girl that she was friends with was Beth Vittner.
The food?
The potato chips.
Vittner's like root beer?
Yes. It's like the soda pop and the potato. It was like the junk food crew. It was like they were just, and then the one who wasn't famous, whose dad just owned car dealerships, she became a movie star. It's like, yeah, whatever.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Couple of those are iconic Chicago names. They're regional big names.
Do you know an iconic Chicago name, which posed the question that you were talking about earlier? About how, if someone were to call for a sex boycott.
Oh yeah, I want to get into this.
Who would be someone that people might listen to?
Okay, hold that thought. Let me establish that. So earlier today on the noon show, we were talking about Joy Behar. Joy Behar.
When you think of sex, you think of Joy Behar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Joy Behar, like 78-year-old Joy Behar, whatever she is, and she looks great for her age, and she's fine, whatever, if that's your thing.
If that's your thing.
Well, no, I don't mean sexually. I just mean in there's nothing wrong with enjoying Joy Behar's punditry, whatever. She does her thing. So she went on TV, and in response to the potential shift in the legality concerning a woman's rights and abortion and Roe versus Wade and all that stuff, she went on TV, I assume on The View, and she suggested that there be, and this is something that she's pushing for, that there be a nationwide sex strike among the women in the United States of America. Now, this is a play on, I'm going to get to go into my old-timey my ancient Greek knowledge here. This is what is it called? Lysistrata. This is the Aristophanes play Lysistrata, the first comedy ever written. I want to say like 400 BC, Lysistrata was written. Nice. And Lysistrata was written by Aristophanes, and is the story of how the women of, Athens and the women of, during the Peloponnesian War. Old-timey days. Yeah, the Peloponnesian Wars. It is how the women were sick and tired of watching their husbands do battle over something stupid. So the women on both sides, this is the play Lysistrata by Aristophanes. So the women on both sides withheld sex from their warrior husbands, and that's how the Peloponnesian War ended. It's been done. Chirac, Spike Lee's movie Chirac from a couple of years ago, was just an update of Lysistrata. It was the girlfriends and wives of gangbangers in Chicago withheld sex until all the violence stopped. It's the same thing.
Can they start it again now?
I don't know. So Joy Behar thinks that this is a good time for the women of America who are, horrified by the events of what's about to happen, to restrict sex, to go on a nationwide sex strike. And my argument on this whole thing was that I don't think that Joy Behar, I don't know that she is big enough.
The mascot.
Yeah, not influential enough to really have people go, like, if Oprah was still around, this would be a good thing that Oprah might be able to push women. No, she's not. Oprah's not around the way she used to be around. She used to be around in a big way, and now she's around in any way she chooses because she's earned that.
Because of Weight Watchers.
So today on the High Noon Show, we were trying to think of like who the women, like what woman is out there who could really be the front person for this. We came up with Beyonce for a certain group of women. For a certain group of women, Beyonce could say anything and they'll do anything. Kim Kardashian was suggested as another very influential woman, a woman that could, put this in the mind. But we couldn't come up with anyone who... See, the men that need to have the sex withheld from them are the Republican voting, Fox News watching, who thinks that this is fine. Those are the men that need to be punished so that they changed it. Like somebody said, well, Kim Kardashian, that would make Pete Davidson angry. I'm like, well, no, Pete Davidson doesn't deserve it. Pete Davidson will still get sex from Kim. She'll give him sex because I bet you he supports, all of this stuff. It is the men who vote for these people and support these people that, we have all of these problems. So look, I'll just call what it is. It's MAGA men. How do you reach the wives of MAGA men? If there are, and there's a whole bunch of them, this is a big fear right now going on among Republican operatives that, you have those, what they call draw curtain voters, the women who, we're voting for this, because they tell their husband because they don't want to fight about it. And then they go inside the voting booth, draw the curtain, and they vote who they really, as women, want to support. Although they don't necessarily do that, as we've seen over the last couple of years. But they do
go across the street and ask the guys who are wearing the Let's Go Brandon flag.
Yeah, well, you know what? See them, I don't think, again, there's going to be some problem ones. Like there's going to be a lot of women who are just dug in, especially the evangelicals and all that. But this is about the suburban soccer mom who considers herself a conservative voter, who doesn't like the libs any more than, I get very angry at the far left. I get very angry at the far right. I'm sitting here in the middle sometimes. But, the woman who votes with her husband for all the Collin County Republican judges and, all that stuff. These are the women that need to be reached. Who speaks to them? Who can tell them to go on a sex strike that they'll listen to?
What do you think about Jenny McCarthy?
No.
She's more liberal, but we saw when Rudy Giuliani was on that Masked Singer thing, she was jumping up and down and clapping.
Yeah, but
then she started in Playboy.
Yeah.
But then she also told
who listens to her?
Melissa that she needed to lose weight if she was going to have a career in Hollywood.
Who listens to her, though? I mean,
she's on Sirius Radio, and she was on The View, and she does a bunch of other stuff. She's on that Masked Singer thing.
Boom! KB artist. He just nailed it. Taylor Swift.
Yep.
Is absolutely
people on the carpet.
Oh my God. I can't believe I didn't think of Taylor Swift. That is a great one.
What about Neil Patrick Harris?
But he's gay. They're not going to like him.
Sure. But that gay people are also go with other gay people.
I don't know.
Make it exclusively women.
Yeah, I think it's got to be. I think it's got to be a woman. I think, a singer would be good. Like, who does that who does that woman that we're describing here, the mom in Plano who votes Republican, whose husband watches Fox News all night, she gets in her car. She's not a terrible person. She's, she's a fine person, but she's definitely upset about this privately. Probably she's not mentioning it, around the house, but she's probably upset about this. Who does she listen to when she gets in her car? Like when she gets in her car, who? Pink. Pink. Okay. All right. What's another one that I wouldn't really think?
Gwen Stefani.
Bigger. Gwen Stefani, maybe. Kelly Clarkson. She's got a daytime TV show. That might be a good one.
What about Melania Trump?
Oh, what about Ivanka?
She ain't going to talk about sex.
I think Ivanka would be more likely to break on this side of the argument than Melania would. Melania's
a lot more credit than I do.
Melania's got a contract.
No, I mean Ivanka. Like, she's not going to break on any side like that.
Oh, I think she's more likely than Melania.
Testifying.
I think she's more likely than Melania. I think because here's the thing. Here's about Ivanka. Ivanka is very troubled. Ivanka and Jared both are very troubled by all the blowback. They really thought they were going to be able to re-enter civilized society and not have any problems, and they're having problems. Mm-hmm. She liked being friends with the Paris Hiltons and the gay designers in New York, and the
Paris Hilton was another one on my list.
Okay, all right. Because we got Kim Kardashian, but I'm not sure that she crosses over to the Plano mom, who's a school teacher, who does believe privately that, this overturning is bad, even though like so many women. Here's the thing. Kelly, do you know any friends like this? Okay. So without saying any names, Gen X, grew up in the 80s, grew up in the 90s. Off the top of my head, I know like 5 or 6 women from my life who have had abortions. And I know like 2 of them who I see on Facebook who are complete hypocrites about it. I'm like, but what are you talking? Now they're all like mega holy rollers and stuff, and that's fine. But you probably know a few. And by the way,
I'm sure I do. I've seen enough housewives anyway.
Yes. So this whole idea, this hypocrisy that it was fine for them when they were 19, they didn't want to have their life ruined and all that. But now, no. Now that they're past their childbearing years. And again, I feel very strongly, I'm not going to offer any kind of opinion. I've been pro-choice my whole life. That is not a secret. But as far as this goes, I think this is more about the women that need to be talking about it, not a 50-year-old white man.
Now, my husband took the same thing earlier when he was like, but shouldn't this be a states thing? I'm like, oh my God.
No.
You have to have some kind of rules.
This is a medical issue.
Wishy-washy.
This is a medical issue. It has to be something that is legal everywhere. You can't have, this is like the argument with, well, gay marriage should be a state issue. Oh, really? So married in Illinois, not married in Indiana? What happens if you're in a car accident in Indiana and one of you dies? You're not married there? What's the insurance company going to say about this?
Right.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Some things have to be federal.
What do you care? Like, what do I care if my neighbors are a gay couple? I don't care. It doesn't impact me at all.
There is a bill today that we discussed in the Louisiana House that will make any woman who has an abortion, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
A murderer. They will be put on trial for murder, considering it a homicide.
We don't have enough problems with jails and prisons.
Right. Well, Louisiana's
totally fine.
Louisiana's a big corporate jail state, so they need to fill them jails. They need to fill them because the corporations are putting big money into it, and it's a money-making opportunity for them. But no, seriously.
Biden wants to get rid of private prisons.
So we have, I think that's a very good idea. There shouldn't be, we should not in this country be turning our citizens' health, our education of our young, and the incarceration of our citizens into money-making opportunities.
No,
that is so ridiculously immoral to me, and I'm a godless heathen. So, I mean, no other civilized country in the world turns those three things into money-making opportunities. But we do. We make money off.
It's funny because like I discovered many things during quarantine. One of which was the Bon Appetit channel on YouTube, which went sadly downhill when they got exposed for being racist and people had to quit. I'm like, oh shoot.
Wait, what
This is
happened?
a fun time to jump on board. But another one is Jessica Kent, Just Kent 12. And she's a former prisoner, former drug addict, former drug dealer. You would never know that from her 5'2", 100-pound demeanor.
Okay.
But learning about prisons and learning about incarcerations and learning about what happens at prisons and like it was so eye-opening to look at things from a different perspective, from a different person's point of view. By the way, Puck, she lives outside Chicago now. Got her bachelor's degree. Super smart.
All right.
Great girl.
Just had a bad launch. Her life launch was not great.
She started as a drug dealer at like 12. It's crazy. But, upstate New York is where she started. Anyway, but hearing her stories and everything, it's such a completely different upbringing. And you just wonder how you could be 12, 13, 14, be carrying a gun and selling freaking crack. Like, how is that a thing? But it was for her. And it was very interesting to learn that perspective, that kind of life. And then she interviews other people who have been imprisoned and problems that happen in prison rules, and how the PTSD that's involved with that. It's interesting to hear different perspectives.
I want to answer Jeff. Jeff says, then why are private charter schools outpacing public schools in America? First of all, I'd like to see the work.
I don't know.
On outpacing, really? Produce your source on that. Secondly, because we have a class divide. And if I had money, my kid would be going to a private school as well, because the public school system in this country needs an overhaul. Why? Because it hasn't been overhauled in 50 years because there is a certain voting bloc that refuses to spend the money that it takes to make our public schools competitive. That's why. Well, and by the way, I mean, I can't afford to send my kid to a private charter school. Would love to. And that's part of the problem. Instead, my kid has to go to a public school. I don't know that they are outpacing, because when you say outpacing, Jeff, and with all due respect, I'm sure this is a deeply held belief of yours, but when you say outpacing, you're suggesting that there are more kids in America that go to private charter schools than go to public schools. And I don't believe that's true.
And they're served brown water in prison.
Just like
not
Flint, Michigan.
Private charter school.
It's like the water in Flint, Michigan.
Yes. Exactly.
He also says, despite the federal Department of Education that keeps spending more and more money. No, they don't. Their budgets haven't been raised in decades. I don't know where you hear this. Okay, so you mean, why are they outpacing public schools in quality of education? Because their teachers get paid more, because they're paying to go there. You get what you pay for, Jeff. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't think, what do you mean, why? You don't understand that if you're paying teachers more and getting better teachers and giving a better educational experience, that the children will learn better? That makes perfect sense. You got no argument from me. I mean, the question is, why do these charter schools have to exist? Because the public schools for middle class and poor kids suck. Yeah. They suck. You get no argument from me. Let's spend some money on them and make them competitive.
As my son being a teacher, there's one candidate for governor who wants to invest money in a group to investigate, a committee to investigate why teachers aren't staying. There's another candidate that wants to pay the teachers more and get rid of the STAR testing.
What is STAR testing?
That's the standardized testing that they have. Those freaking stupid dumb tests that they have to take. That, by the way, next week. So I got to send my kids fruit roll-ups. My
kid gets straight A's. And I always mutter to myself, yeah, but is that a public school? I'm like, how hard is that? My straight A kid in a public school is probably like a C+ kid in a good private school. I'm teasing.
Don't say that. That's kid always true. But, again, I live in an area where there are kids whose parents don't speak English and they don't have money for clothes and shoes, and they get free lunches. And then I live with people who live in $2 million houses that go to the same freaking schools. So it's just a disparity.
Let's address what Robin says. Robin says Greg Abbott is going to file a lawsuit to try and do away with public education. Okay. Where do the kids who currently go to public school go now?
Right.
That's the question, right? Where do they go to school? Well, they go to a private charter school. Well, they can't afford it.
No. No, they can't. I live in an area that is proof of that. No, they don't.
So
even during COVID, when we had homeschooling, they still gave out lunches to kids who had nowhere else to get food because it's the only place that got food during the day.
Yeah. Sucks being a poor kid.
Yeah,
maybe their parents should have worked harder. So
they're working really hard. That's why they don't have time to go and like teach them homeschool.
But so screw the innocent kid because his dad doesn't have a good job. I mean, I just don't understand. And these are almost entirely people who call themselves Christians who spout this stuff. It's so maddening. I don't know. I'm not even a Christian. Why is it that I care about people more than most Christians? And I don't believe that we should be raising our taxes and giving all. We can do it smartly. I mean, there are any number of civilized nations around the world that do this smartly. Canada doesn't seem to have the problems that we have in this regard. I mean, we're just...
Nor does England.
I don't know. I was reading something about Peter Thiel. You know, Peter Thiel is the billionaire. No. He's kind of a crazy billionaire, and he's extreme. He's like basically a fascist, but he has a belief that democracy doesn't work, and I completely agree with him.
I can understand that because it's not a true democracy.
Democracy doesn't work. It doesn't.
Not when you're getting millions of dollars of donations to run for something.
Yeah, well,
I mean, democratic.
But just the idea that you're going to get 100 people in a room and you're going to come to some consensus that everybody's going to be happy about. I mean, look, a benevolent monarchy, that's truly the only thing that could work. Just elect a really good dude to run everything forever. I mean, but then how do we
say I'm in favor of a democracy, obviously, although I'd be lying if I didn't say that I'd considered moving to Canada because this is just driving me full on crazy. But this isn't a true democracy. It just isn't. And we've made some kind of a turn in the last decade.
Well, we were talking about ancient Greece. Democracy has failed just about everywhere for thousands of years. What we have in this country is a Jeffersonian version, or what they call American-style democracy. And for us to be thinking that there's no way that this can implode and fail is ridiculous. It's only been around for 200 years. That is nothing. That is nothing in the grand scheme of, I mean, the Brits ran the world for 500 years, and then suddenly they're just a stupid island, I don't know. I think it's
just nothing like willing for your country to succeed only to be kicked.
Yeah, well, right. We are parsing right now, and I was speaking of more of a popular perception of what the United States of America is, but it is, as Jeff and Ed both point out, it's a constitutional republic, which is not exactly the same thing. It's Jefferson's version of it's why American-style democracy is a constitutional republic. We're just parsing different words. I'm sorry if I used a more familiar way of saying it than you smart people. And by that, I mean,
offensive.
Oh, was I being? No, Jeff and Ed are both smart guys. I was actually paying them credit. I was being more familiar in my description. Anyway, I don't know. I love the idea of Taylor Swift being the one. Taylor Swift is the one.
Taylor Swift is the one?
Mm-hmm. It should be Beyonce. It should be Beyonce, Kim K, and Taylor Swift.
What about Zoe Kravitz?
Who? Zoe
Kravitz.
No, because Zoe Kravitz doesn't speak to anybody that doesn't already agree. Zoe Kravitz, you think the wife of the guy who's coming home from work in Plano and putting on Tucker Carlson is going to listen to Zoe Kravitz? Come on.
No, but it's not about them listening. It's about the women listening to her.
Yeah. I think it's Taylor Swift and Kelly Clarkson. I think those are the two. I think this entire issue for you ladies rests on the shoulders of Kelly Clarkson and Taylor Swift.
I'm not sold on the Kelly Clarkson part, but probably because I hate her TV show so much. But Taylor Swift is good. That's good.
Who else is like that? Like, and it's gotta be someone who's American. You know, some people are like Adele. I'm like, no. This has got to be an American,
England,
preferably a Southern American. You know, a girl who's like that. Dolly Parton. Robin says Dolly Parton. Nah,
No.
Kelly and I already dismissed that.
She doesn't want to be part of politics.
Yeah,
not going to change now.
She would be good though.
And I also don't want her to. No, let Dolly be Dolly.
Yeah, well, Dolly being Dolly would be somebody who would. I'll tell you something, y'all. Here's what I mean, that would be Dolly being Dolly. I don't know. She went after the state of Florida when. Did you hear about that? I love that from a couple of weeks ago. So, a bunch of evangelicals said, "Don't go to tranny-friendly Disney World. Go to Dollywood." And Dolly put out a statement that says, we have welcomed people of all orientations and choices for years. If you're coming, Reese Witherspoon could be good, although is she big enough?
I thought of her, but then I thought, but she doesn't take political stances, and I don't know, I try to think of who would speak to my daughter.
No, but that's not Beyonce and Taylor Swift will speak to your daughter.
Yes,
we are talking about who is going to speak to you, quite frankly, because you're married to Jeff. Who is going to speak to you?
Except Jeff is on my side on this.
Well, of course, because look at that, a career military aviator who's on your side.
I know.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep thinking somebody said Tina Fey, and that would be a good one. You get Tina Fey and Amy Poehler to do some PSAs. That might be fun.
Except I think that I thought
Judi
Dench, I thought that people wouldn't think that they were serious.
Oh no, I think they would. I don't know. I'm at a loss for this. Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this conversation. This was fun. The hour went by quick. That's the best indicator.
Yeah. I got to wash my hair tomorrow. It's going to be a big day.
It's like I'm thinking, is there anybody in politics who could do this? But no, that's a problem.
Immediately disqualify them.
Exactly. It's too divisive.
Mm-hmm.
Kim K speaks to a certain group, but I don't know that she speaks to a group who.
She doesn't speak to me.
No, but she really.
Kardashian.
Again, I hate to say this, but we're old. She doesn't speak to you. She's
almost our age. She's not young.
Yeah, we say that now because as we get older, our definition of almost our age gets longer and longer as we get older. It used to be
her bank account's too big.
15 years. Miley Cyrus is interesting.
I thought of her.
Is she taken seriously though?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I was thinking Ellen, but I don't know.
No.
She's a lesbian. No. I don't know if that works.
Not because she's a lesbian.
But
she's got questionable dealings around her anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think because she's a lesbian, I think it needs to be a woman who has heterosexual sex. I really do. I think Jennifer Aniston. Could Jennifer Aniston do it?
I almost had her on my list, but then I thought, Jennifer Aniston doesn't speak to my daughter.
I don't know.
She's a fan of Friends, but she's not looking at her opinion on things.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I'm out of
Leslie Mann.
Who?
Leslie Mann.
See, if I'm going, who? I don't know how influential that. Oh, is that Apatow's wife?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's not a big enough star.
Come on.
I like where you're going. I mean, I like her, but Byron is just throwing out the worst people.
I can't read it.
Jane Pauley. He's like, hey, let's bring back Jane Pauley for this job.
Judi Dench?
Judi Dench.
Yeah.
He also suggested Barbara Walters. Sheryl Crow.
Is she still alive? Like
Barbara Walters? Barely. I hear she's like in bad shape. I hear she's like on a couch drooling and she's like suffering. There was some story, although it was from the London Sun. There was some story about Dolly Parton like being possibly a victim of elder abuse because like they're just like she's in some trouble and nobody's paying any attention to her.
You know what? I did hear that too. You're right.
How about Meryl Streep?
I don't know that she's going to change anybody's mind.
Certainly not Susan Sarandon. We want her to sit this one out.
Her too, but nope.
She needs to sit this out. She shouldn't say anything ever again.
No.
Michelle Obama. Does Michelle
Obama?
Or is she too political? Would Michelle Obama speak?
She's not going to get into the sex part of it.
I think it's Oprah. I think it's got to be Oprah. I think Oprah's got
to get into the sex part of it.
Oprah?
No.
Well, I don't think this is about sex. This is about a woman's, rights. Who can speak to a woman? Who's going to tell a woman married to a guy in Plano who's watching Tucker Carlson that he's not going to get sex anymore until he starts to acknowledge that a woman's right to choose and a woman's right is her business. A woman's body is her business. Who's going to speak to that woman married to that guy?
That's the part that they don't want to get involved with. I told you, if my husband were a different way and I said, I'm not doing your laundry anymore, he'd be really pissed and really think about it.
I thought that a good name for our little enactments here could be Pugs and Kelly Fix the World, but we haven't fixed anything with this conversation. We're back at square one with Joy Behar. We're like right back with her.
I didn't even know she was still on The View.
Who else is on The View? Anybody? No, Whoopi can't do it. Whoopi's too polarizing.
No, but I mean, like, is she still on The View?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know. I haven't seen The View.
I don't know who's on there anymore.
How about who's like, this kind of violate. I was gonna say like Sharon Osbourne, but she
moved back to England.
Got to be born in America. Julia Roberts, Byron says, but again, is Julia Roberts even that influential anymore? I don't know who's influential anymore.
She's influential right now because we're coming up on Mother's Day and she does a perfume commercial. So you see a lot of her doing that right now.
Hold on. 20. Let's see. Who are the top female? All right. Hold on. Well, you got anywhere to be? I don't got anywhere to be. Hold on. Yeah. I don't know why I did think. Top female influencers. 2022 top female influencers. I think give me a bunch of.
Please don't give me TikTokers' names because I'm not on TikTok.
22. How about 20? Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're just giving me a bunch of Instagram people. How about 2022 most influential women? All right. Let's look at the. And I'm afraid that this is again gonna just fall along.
Does Ed know what's that Miranda chick's name who does the dances? Ed knows who she is.
Well, ask him. Casey Musgrave. Casey Musgrave is a good one. Casey Musgrave is a good one. That is a good one. She is becoming incredibly influential in country music, and she is.
Oh yeah. Okay.
She is definitely. She's crossed over. She is good. All right. These are the 10 most influential women of 2022. All right, ready?
This is going to really bum me out.
Yeah, it is. And it's going to be, oh my God. All right, first of all, Greta Thunberg, sit down. This is not your fight.
No, she has bigger fights.
Simone Biles.
Yes.
Does she speak to the wife of a Tucker Carlson fan? Does she speak to a woman married to a Joe Rogan listener? I'm wondering.
She speaks to me, but...
We got Kim Kardashian, Queen Elizabeth.
She ain't entering that fight.
Yeah, no, this is not the Queen. She's only got so much. She's on fumes at this point. Her gas is being Taylor Swift. There you go. Yep. Taylor Swift. Again, we got the.
She's not afraid of a fight. Taylor Swift is not.
Oprah is still the number 4 most influential woman of 2022. Oprah.
You're not going to get her to talk about sex because people are going to assume that she's having sex with Gail again.
Michelle Obama is number 3.
Love her.
Jeez, That's what, are you kidding me? Come on. Number 2 and number 1 are not helping. It's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Kamala Harris. They are not helping in this argument. That's just
Because they're
not
already in this argument.
right. Exactly. It's got to be somebody who can just, is there a Martha Stewart? I mean, Rachel Ray? Is there somebody like that out there?
Rachel Ray, but she's also not going to talk about sex.
All right, hold on. Let's keep looking. I don't know what I'm doing here.
I don't like any of these.
Amber Heard.
Jeff
Who do these women listen to?
Amber Heard.
The problem is I don't know who these women listen to. When the husband
Amber Heard is.
No, I know who Amber Heard is. But when the husband is occupying the TV and watching Tucker into whatever, what are the wives doing? What are they getting into? Who are they listening to?
Dinner like they're supposed to, barefoot and pregnant.
No, that's someone. Now you're just being. I don't know. I'm scrolling through this stuff. Hey, did you hear about Jerry Jones? You got a hot take on Jerry Jones?
No, what happened?
Oh, Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones got into a car accident. Okay, so here's the story as I've heard it. Jerry Jones was in a car accident last night and he was taken to the hospital and he was released. He was only there for a few hours, minor injuries.
How did he get out in a few hours?
Because he's Jerry Jones. He knows people. The press was assembling because of where the car accident occurred. The car accident occurred on Harry Hines. No. Well, Jerry out there. He's out there wildcatting.
Back roads?
Picking up some free agents.
Sure.
And apparently the accident occurred when a car had to make a left turn, an illegal turn to avoid. Now here, this is the story. This is what they're saying. This has not been confirmed. The only thing that's been confirmed is Dallas police said that the accident occurred when a car made an illegal turn to avoid an obstruction in the roadway. And what is being reported by some other people, although, allegedly, is that the obstruction in the roadway was Jerry Jones, who had parked his car on the side of Harry Hines and was possibly either letting somebody in or out of the vehicle.
I'm sure he was just handing out some protein bars for the people in need.
Sure.
That's why he had pulled over.
For those of you who don't know the Dallas metropolitan area, Harry Hines is where all the prostitutes are. It's where although we looked at it on Google Maps today during the High Noon Show because it happened at Harry Hines and Wolf, which is closer to downtown than it is to the area of Harry Hines that I always thought was like the real sketchy part. Mm-hmm. But then we looked at it on Google Earth and it's kind of sketchy. It's like, oh, okay, this area is kind of sketchy.
What would he have to be doing down there?
I don't know. What were we doing down there, Jerry? Well, he hasn't answered any questions. Where we go? I was just driving around. I was just going out for a drive.
Why not? I got lost.
Well, okay. So here. Wait. I'll give you the story as it's being reported by the upstanding, non-spectacular news services who are just given the facts. Dallas, Texas. Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones was in a 2-car crash Wednesday night in Dallas, according to our NBC affiliate, NBCDFW.com. And then they show a nice little map of the Harry Hines Stroll area. The crash was at the intersection of Harry Hines Boulevard and Wolf Street, which is in central Dallas near I-35. Excuse me. The NBC DFW report stated that Jones was taken to Parkland. He is reportedly doing fine. What? Yeah, real close. Mm-hmm. Right down the street. The article also says Jones has been discharged from the hospital and is at home resting. Okay, so that one didn't give us any of the information that we were looking for. Let's see if any.
How do they know he's resting? Maybe he's playing racquetball. Who knows?
Let's see. Well, his wife has got to be very angry at him because of the story from 2 weeks ago. Do you know about that Jerry Jones story?
Nope.
Ooh, Jerry Jones has a daughter with a stewardess that's 20-something years old, and nobody ever knew about it until the daughter, who had been getting paid her whole life on a secret trust fund, got a job in politics and had to divulge that she was the daughter of Jerry Jones for security reasons.
Oh, no.
Now Jerry's like, she ain't my daughter. And they're like, well, then why have you been paying her $30,000 a month for the last 20 years?
It's the mail.
Because I'm a nice guy. Because I thought, let's see. Do we have anything else? Okay, let's see if I want to get like the details, the description, the official story that's out there. Because I've read a couple of these official stories, and they all say the accident occurred when a car made an illegal turn in the roadway in order to avoid, and it's like, well, what did they avoid? What were they trying to avoid?
Right.
What was... Jerry was parked there in the side of Harry Hines. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones suffered a scare
down there.
What's that?
I can't. He's got to have only really nice cars, right?
Oh yeah. No, he lives right down the block here. He lives. I mean, seriously. I don't know. I could crawl to his house. It's right at the end of the block. I see him in the neighborhood all the time.
Really nice car, and he's driving around in Harry Hines.
He drives. He's got a Mercedes that he drives in, and I've seen him in a Jaguar that he drives around in, and he drives himself. What's that?
Not a Lincoln?
Not an old man Lincoln, right? Yeah, it's like an old 77 Lincoln. Yeah, with big bull horns on the front. Like something out of a Burt Reynolds movie. According to WFAA.com, Jones was taken to the hospital for precautionary reasons. It is unclear if Jones was driving or if he was a passenger in the car. Jones stayed at the hospital.
Well, I think we can guess.
Well, I mean, he does get chauffeured around, I suppose. He's that rich, but he does drive. People were wondering yesterday, does he drive? I have, with mine own eyes, I've seen him drive. I've seen him in the neighborhood. All right, where is the accident? Where's the description of the accident? The incident comes just 4 days after Jones led the Cowboys' brain trust through the 2022 NFL Draft, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares.
Literally. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. That was so last week. All right, that one doesn't have any description of the accident either. Oh, keep him quiet.
Let's just say worst case scenario, he was down there for, what would it be?
Some scouting some free agents. He's just looking for some undrafted free agents.
Free agents would be good too. I don't care. You sleep with whoever you want to sleep with, boo. If that is in fact the case.
Citing unidentified police source. Oh, really? Oh, they're going to make me log in to read. This is one with the details. And they're going to just... I hate that. I hate when news sources jump behind the paywall after like 30 seconds. So you start to read like the first part of the paragraph and then all of a sudden, boom, it disappears.
Yep.
It's like, damn paywall.
Mm-hmm. Even if it's free, if I have to sign up and give you my email, I'm so far behind in email.
Well, Kelly, that's been my problem. The reason that people are so misinformed and the reason that people are given such nonsense and it's presented as truth and it's presented in a very familiar journalistic form is because all of the legitimate news hides behind paywalls. All of the nonsense shit is free. So, of course, we're going to read the nonsense shit because that's the stuff with all the pop-ups. Those sites make their money off the pop-ups but legitimate news sources, the real stuff, they're all, they all do that pop. You have used one of 2 free articles this month. It's like, what? Why aren't we being informed? Well, because all the actual news that isn't just designed and backed by political interest to sway the minds and opinions of people, you got to pay for. The free stuff is what's poisoning the well.
It's been infuriating the past 3 weeks as an aside, watching the Depp Heard trial. And I watch it through Emily D. Baker, who's watching it, and she's a lawyer, and she's putting things in context. So I see the stream and she's commenting on the stream. She does the objections, she explains, and she connects the whole thing. Like, this is going to refer to this and this is going to go here. And then I'll read an article recount of what I just saw. And I'm like, that's so freaking off. That's not at all.
That's not what I just saw with my own 2 eyes.
I just saw it and I had a lawyer explain it to me as other lawyers are explaining it. And what you're saying is so completely opposite of what happened. Frustrating.
Well, look, it's
I just had to stop reading.
if you can control. Well, I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into how broken our media is in this.
Ugh, frustrating.
All right, let's be done. Let's be done. Hey, you know what I'm gonna do? Do you still watch TV, or do you just watch stupid stuff?
Like, watch stupid stuff.
Stupid stuff constitutes anything that I'm not interested in. So, so don't take it personal. That's more of just
YouTube, other streaming services. I haven't watched regular TV. I watched. Hold on. I watched the ID network for 8 hours a day, and I'm asleep for 6 of it.
ID network? Like, isn't that all like recycled Dateline stuff?
Other things. But they don't run infomercials in the middle of the night. So when I wake up, there's an actual show on, and no one's yelling at me, and I don't have to buy a frying pan.
Okay. All right. See, now when I want to do that, I just put on if I just need noise, I just go to Spotify and play some podcasts and just have because I know you listen to a lot of podcasts, right?
Not a lot of them.
No. Okay. I thought you did. I thought you were.
Well, no, I guess maybe.
No.
Yeah.
Do you know what what podcast you would really like? Hey, look, Kelly. Yeah, Mark Cook is here. Hi, Mark Cook. Look, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Cook. Oh.
I haven't been happy with the refrigerator since I stopped being in Illinois.
So let me give a quick review before we get out of here about a show that I just discovered that I have been waiting for, and I had no idea that it was already streaming. Had no idea. I've been waiting for months for this show, and I stumbled across it last night, and they gave me 3 episodes, and then I got away. I hate this. I hate that the streaming platforms spent 5 years getting us used to the idea that we could binge an entire season in one sitting if we wanted, and now they're like, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. We're just going to give you 3, and then every week you get another one. I'm like, what? No, don't do that. The show is called... it's so good. Ed's in the chat. I'm glad that Ed's in the chat room. I can't believe that Ed isn't watching this. It's called The Offer, and it is on Paramount Plus. I have been waiting for... Do you know what The Offer is?
Nope.
The Offer is the story. Now, it's all actors. It's all actors. Miles Teller is the star. It's Miles Teller, and it is the actual story of how Paramount Pictures basically convinced the mafia of New York to allow them to make The Godfather. And I'm telling you,
I saw something about that.
The character who plays Robert Evans, the head of Paramount, is spectacular. The character who plays Francis Ford Coppola is spectacular. It is so good. I love it. And it's like, of course, it sucks. Yeah, no, you suck because it's actually quite good. Mark Cook, it's incredible. It's right. So Ed, it sucks. No, it is everything that I hoped it would be and more. Because do you know who Robert Evans is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I read his autobiography. I think I even saw the movie of it.
The kid stays in the picture.
Yeah.
Oh, my favorite. Yes. And he followed me before he died. He died 2 years ago. He followed me on Twitter, and he used to actually retweet stuff, and we talked to each other. And I don't know if it was really him or just somebody who was handling. Nice. It was verified, though. It was the verified Robert Evans account. And I was such a fan of that guy. That kid stays in the picture. Mm-hmm. It is the best biography or documentary I have ever seen. And so I was a little bit worried about the portrayal of Robert Evans. They are portraying Robert Evans in the exact way that I wanted them to portray Robert Evans, as the coolest guy who has ever lived, who is just totally like that. And the guy who's playing him has the voice, and he does exactly the guy. Just the coolest guy. He's a boss. He's super powerful, but he's also at all the parties dancing with the chicks and very Larry Wirt.
I think he knows if Ronan Farrow is really Frank Sinatra's kid.
Oh, totally. Ronan Farrow is totally Frank Sinatra's kid. And yeah, I bet Bob Evans would know. Not the Sausage King either. We're talking
No.
about the guy who made Rosemary's Baby, Love Story, The Godfather. We're talking about one of the most important producers of all time. I'm really upset that Ed doesn't like it. That Ed, he says, when it's all over, your opinion will be that it couldn't have been done in half the episodes. I don't know, man. I can't get enough of it. The first 2 episodes that I've seen are tremendous. So that's what I'm going to watch.
I can recommend to Ed that he watch The Real Housewives of Potomac. He'd really enjoy that. No, he would. No,
here's what I think is going on with Ed. I think Ed didn't know it was out. I think Ed didn't know it was out. He feels a little bit behind the 8 ball. He heard me talk about it, and his excuse for covering his tracks that he didn't, because Ed knows everything about everything, and
he does, though. He knows.
I bow down to him on this. Yeah. Ed didn't know it was out. And so now he is going all in with it sucks, because honestly, 50-50, anything might suck or be good. And I said it was good. And then Mark Cook jumped in and said it was incredible. And now Ed, he's outnumbered, and he's making, well, I've seen them all. I don't think you have. I'm calling bullshit.
I don't like to call bullshit on Ed, because he's normally right.
Mark Cook is suggesting the Dinner for Five episode on YouTube. I didn't know that was on YouTube, but I watched the Dinner for Five episode like 5-6 years ago when it first, or 10 years ago maybe, when it first aired on TV. Did you ever see Dinner for Five?
Mm-mm.
It's a good show. It was a Jon Favreau show. It was basically Jon Favreau would just have a dinner party, and it would be like that thing, like if you could have a dinner party, invite all these people, and all these like really cool people just came to the dinner party, and they would just talk about stuff.
Or the political commentary guy?
The comedian, yeah, the director, the film director, Jon Favreau, originally of Swingers. And now
there's
look,
also Jon Favreau of Pod Save America.
Yeah, isn't that weird that there's 2 with that name?
They will sometimes switch places as jokes.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I like that. I love one Jon Favreau. I don't know much about the other one. I don't know much about the podcasting one, but the guy who created The Mandalorian, I love him. That's my
original Obama speechwriter.
Yeah, it was like in the Obama White House, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is he gay?
No.
Isn't his partner gay?
John Lovett. Yes.
He's gay. Yeah, that guy's gay.
Ronan Farrow.
Yeah,
it all comes around.
I just get him confused. John Lovett is with Ronan Farrow?
Yeah.
Ronan Farrow's gay?
Yeah.
That's a good thing Frank didn't live to see that, huh? That would have killed Frank. I will say this about The Offer. The character who plays Frank Sinatra, because Frank Sinatra hated The Godfather. He thought that the character of Johnny Fontaine was a direct mimicking of him, and it was making fun of him, and he didn't like it. Yeah. So the character who plays Frank Sinatra in The Offer is a little bit off. Look at that. I knew it was out. No, you didn't. No, I don't care. You can say you knew, and I'm just going to look. I'll tell you what, Ed, because I love you and I don't want to fight with you. And honestly, you have the power to flip a switch and end this whole thing in any minute. And there's nothing I can do about it. So,
he's the Godfather.
Yeah, he is. He's the Godfather of this. He's the Podfather for sure. I will, in my heart of hearts, always believe that in this moment, Ed, you're having sort of like an insecure breakdown, and you're just going to lean into the fact that you knew it was out when I know you didn't know it was out.
I bet he did. He was on a
fine. And you know what? Because I love him, I'm going to go with that too. Sure, he did.
Yeah.
Sure. But in my heart of hearts, we will know that I'm thinking something else.
Oh my gosh. Why do you do this to yourself?
I don't know. You mean, why do I do this to Ed? After he's done. Mark Cook says Al Ruddy's secretary is not a real person. No, she's not a real person, but she's Juno Temple, who is wonderful. Juno Temple from Ted Lasso, who plays...
kids love that show.
Oh, I love that show. It's my favorite 30-minute show of all time. That show is just heartbreakingly good. Who does she play? Who does Juno Temple play on Ted Lasso? I forgot. She plays. Why can't it? Wait, she's like the star. She's like the star girl in it. She plays Keely. Oh God, Keely. Anyway, all right. We are really drifting into. If you watch Ted Lasso, you know who Keely is. She's dating Roy. She used to be dating Jamie. She's the pinup Instagram model who's like famous for no reason, and she doesn't understand why she's famous, but she dates professional football players. That's soccer for us in America. And everybody thinks she's famous, and now she's like in the PR department of the team, and she's awesome, and everybody loves her. That's Keely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good life.
Yeah, no, she's really funny in the role because she just became like mega famous because of Instagram and she doesn't understand why. And she's really cool about it. Like, well, I'm just taking this ride. I don't have any
Without
talent.
dancing?
What's that? Yeah, without dancing. She was just, yeah. She's like with her boyfriend is like one of the most famous soccer players in the world. And they walk into a club and everybody's like, it's Keely. She's like, and he's like, what? Very much kind of a posh David Beckham kind of a thing. Like, you know. All right.
Ronaldo?
Anyway, Keely is Julian Temple. Wait a second. Or is her dad Julian Temple? Who's the film director? The film director is Julian Temple. And then his daughter is...
IMDb, look it up.
I'm getting so old. There's not enough room in my head anymore for stuff. It's like, I don't know. Do you remember how we used to make fun of like our parents for getting names wrong?
Oh, yeah.
Like they would call Wesley Snipes Willie Snipes. Oh, I like that Willie Snipes. And we'd make fun of him because, oh, you're so old. That's me now.
Yep.
I can't get these
names.
I called the baby, and my kid never let me forget it. What do you call him? The baby. He's not the baby. Like, okay.
Tell him the rapper.
That's what he tells me. That's what it tells me. All right, thank you, Kelly. We'll do this again.
Okay.
We'll see you Monday, right? The next time we do this show, you'll be with us for Kelly Moore Mondays?
Sure.
Unless you don't want to. If you don't want to, that's fine.
I have nothing else to do. Not that I would just like say I'm only doing it because I have nothing else to do. I enjoy talking to you.
All right. Very good. I do the same. There she goes. That's Kelly Moore. She joins us, Kelly Moore Mondays. You can come back at 9 o'clock on Monday and she'll be with me and Parker. Support the show. That's how we run it. We've got a Venmo and a Cash App. We take your tips, treat us like your bartender, treat us like your barista. You just throw a little something in the tip jar. We will appreciate that. That's how I'm able to do these two shows every day. Join us at noon for High Noon, which is Topics. It's just me doing all kinds of whatever it is that's trending. It's basically just a quick little run through. It's usually about 2 hours. It's the way talk radio should be. There's no political bullshit. We don't do anything divisive. It's not that. It's just like, hey, people are talking about Robert Redford. Here's why. Because you know that meme with Robert Redford where he goes, you guys know what I'm talking about? I'm not even kidding right now. So I just looked down at the Twitter and Robert Redford is trending. You know, Robert Redford is trending because of that old Jeremiah Johnson meme that goes around where it's like him with the beard and he goes, I don't know. You've seen it a million times. Anyway, he's trending because people didn't know that was Robert Redford. People are like, I had no idea that was Redford. Like, we old people did. All right. I'm gonna go watch. I'm gonna go watch the third episode of The Offer. That's what it was. I'm sorry, I blanked out. Oh, God, I'm getting so old. All right, appreciate y'all. Thank you all for being here. Saw a lot of people that we didn't usually see. I love you guys. That was good. Saw some new people. Kelly's drawing some folks into the whole thing. She'll be back with us at 9 p.m. on Monday night for Kelly Moore Monday. And then I'll be back tomorrow at noon for High Noon. Remember? Topics. Current events, hot takes. We move on to the next one. I give you a hot take. I move on to the next one. It's quick. It's a cheat sheet for your day. It's everything that anybody is talking about, all for you. Oh, out of time. Bye, everybody.